Welcome to Gonzaga University for a Pac-12 versus A-10 matchup as we wrap up the summer in Spokane, Washington. Just a few nights left of summertime before school kicks back up on campus. And we got a fun one here under the lights at Luger Field. The Gonzaga Bulldogs taking on the Fordham Rams. John Billings with you here alongside former Gonzaga shot stopper Vito Higgins. And Vito, these two teams have never matched up against each other. Some fun interactions that we're going to see early on in the preseason. And for Gonzaga, a lot of nevers before. And part of that's because they're entering a whole new era in the Pac-12. But some good positive things to bring into this new era that they took from the old WCC era. One of them being goal scorer Drew Peterson.
Yeah, absolutely. He's an outstanding young man, senior, veteran eyes out here, and he's a high worker, strong. He's hungry. He can really help this team, just as long as he stays healthy throughout the season. It'll be exciting to watch him.
You can see the types of goals he scores, his work rate. He scored goals. He's had assists to lead both of those categories for Gonzaga last year. Now, also something to look forward to in net, one of the top goalkeepers in the country, 9th all-time saves. Vito, your second all-time saves here, so tell me a little bit about what makes him so good.
I mean, Chema just is, again, another outstanding player, a lot of experience, his 5th year. He's very vocal and communicative with his back line, which really alleviates a lot of stress. He's extremely athletic and very composed on the ball. His distribution is outstanding. I mean, we haven't even touched on his shot-stopping ability. So, again, an exciting player to watch.
Just a few minutes away from kickoff here in Spokane. We'll be back to introduce you to the coaches, the goalkeepers for both sides, and the starting lineup. GU against Fordham. Back on the campus of Gonzaga University, set for action. Fordham Rams against the Gonzaga Bulldogs. It's a hot day here, about 95 degrees, but shadows covering nearly all the field now as both teams make the last-minute preparations to get back out onto the field. Head coach for Chris McGahee in his 2nd season. Vito just taking off the interim tag last year.
Yeah, this will be exciting. He gets a full shot, fresh start. And looks like he's been working with the boys a lot in this offseason.
A chance to establish his style. We already talked about Chema Preciado will be in goal once again for Gonzaga, where he's been over the last 2 seasons, really making that position his own. On the other side, headman Carlo Acquista in his 8th year, former St. John's University player. In the middle there, the second guy to the left with the hat on, just leaning forward. And his shot stopper tonight, Leo Perliman out of Staten Island, New York City. So it'll be Gonzaga in all white, top to bottom, going from right to left. As we look down on the pitch here, just a few steps away from the Spokane River. And in the kind of burgundy maroon red, Fordham Rams will go from left to right with the first touches of the match. We had a doubleheader here today, so a lot of action out on Luger Field. The women were going up against the Arizona Wildcats. Controversial game, a lot of calls debated there. Ended up a 2-1 win for Arizona. First look for Gonzaga in the first match of the season for both of these two programs. Just exhibitions thus far, chances to suss out what the coaching staff has, and the first real opportunity to see it in action. Early touches for Michael Divano there. Nice turn on the near side, Perry Blay. And first touches for Damani McKenna. Looking for Peterson at the top of the box. And cleared away by Swearingen. Chance for Michael Divano. Two defenders waiting, but tried to cut back in. Divano held off, and Swearingen did the dirty work, and you can hear the applause from his teammates. Let's get you the lineups for the match tonight. Gonzaga with essentially a 4-4, well, more like a 4-5-1. It's all mixed up there with defensive, but basically Preciado's got 4 in front of him. Perry Blay on the left, Isaac Dahlhart, Sam Dallin, and Carson Hammond left to right across the back. John Hyaltson and Chase Potter will be the holding mids. Morgan Olson will sit up in that attacking kind of number 10 role. Damani McKenna on the right, Michael Divano on the left, and Drew Peterson at the 9. Good look there at the Icelander, John Hyaltson. And over to the lineup for the Fordham Rams. They too have holding mids in front of Leo Perliman. They've got Cameron Mojabi, the captain at the left back, Jason Sue and Mirko Lekovic, center backs, and Levi Swearingen on the right. Ryan Sheamoon and Nico Linares will be kind of in that holding mid role, and then 3 in front of them, Celerino, Betancourt, and DeCesa, and the top man is Arato Mizuno. Early on in the season, Vito, you never know exactly what you've got until you see it in action. But both of these teams with a lot of new faces, less new faces for Gonzaga than Fordham. They only returned 2 of their top points getters from last year's team, almost an entirely new roster.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway for me is that with Fordham being an unknown, this really gives Gonzaga the opportunity to just play and not, over-scout, over-recruit the situation here. Just get out, play, and see what happens.
That one attempted for Peterson, always giving chase, kind of a calling card for him. He's going to work hard. One of those forwards that defenders never like to deal with. I mean, he's going to make them look over their shoulder. He's going to challenge when it's not really much there. And he's going to test them.
Yeah, those Lake Oswego boys are a little shifty out there.
A lot of Oregon players coming through the Gonzaga program. He was recruited by the previous head man who was from the Portland area. A lot of influence certainly from the Northwest, but this team has players from all over the place. Potter leaping for that one. And a first whistle of the night from Josh Madison, our center referee in orange. Into the channel, looking for Morgan Olson. The senior with the chance to look up with the bright orange boots. Looking for Peterson, And met by Lekovic, out for the first corner tonight. Olsen's the creator in this team. He's the guy who's putting up the assists or the pass that unleashes the assist. That was his service, and this will be his wall. Right foot, out swinger. Dahlhart, Peterson, Hammond, lots to aim for. This one's towards Peterson. Knocked down. Damani McKenna! Just unable to get the boots over top. Good cross in, and a nice job of Gonzaga winning the knockdown there. Vito able to find the attack. Now here's Fordham on the counter. And a good attempt, Nicholas DeSessa. He's one of the few returners on this team, a goal and an assist last year. Good look at Damani McKenna. Transfer from Highline Community College a couple of years ago. Now kind of a veteran in this Gonzaga program. He brings a ton of pace down the wing. Will play outside back. He'll play on the right midfield role as well. Perry Blake. Good composure. Finds Sam Dolan. The captain, now a senior. And all the way back to Dolan once again. Dolan started every match last year. Blay, the transfer from Liberty University. And Potter back out to the right side. Gonzaga just surveying things here.
Yeah, Fordham's doing a good job of sitting in and kind of getting defensive structure, making it tough.
Olsen forced way back to pick up possession. Now a chance to look up. Kind of thought about it. Holds tight. Olsen will be offsides. And after the whistle, Peterson puts it in. Clearly off, but still as a former forward, I love to see the ball go into the back of the net. When your forward gets to see that, it's always nice to get a touch. See the net ripple a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goalkeeper probably not thrilled by that.
Nope, thank God this isn't hockey.
Get the enforcer in to take care of business. Good decision there from Isaac Dahlhart, and it's all the way back to Preciado. Gonzaga with exhibitions against Trinity Western and Warner Pacific here at Luger Field thus far. Found a couple goals, good defense in those matches too. So not the first time they've been out there, but a lot of different mixtures of lineups. This is the first time we really got the starting 11 all together. Drew Peterson dancing with the right foot. Two defenders waiting. McKenna Greenwald, nice job to pull it back and retain possession. Nice little flick over top. Cleared away. Linares doesn't have much time. Forces Jason Sue into a difficult one, and he passes the challenge, and in the end, Fordham able to draw a foul, and will clear the lines.
I really want Gonzaga to get some more numbers forward. They seem to only just be allowing Peterson to be the man up there. It'd be nice to get a few more inside the box so they can have some targets.
The Fordham Rams out of the A10 conference, a conference in which they were picked 4th in the preseason behind George Mason, Dayton, and the first pick, St. Louis. A lot of changes to this team. We'll talk about tonight some of the new faces and the faces gone, but essentially only 2 starters returned from last year's team. About 85 minutes of production have departed. So an entirely new team. Early in the season, you're trying to get a feel for what you've got and how you play together, where your teammates are going to be, especially challenging when it's basically an entirely new squad. Good turn in the first touch from Carson Hammond. Newcomer from UC Davis. Play finds Devano. Still has the option. Now into the box. Michael Devano. Contact? No. Waved off. Devano knew exactly where he was. The second he got into the box, was ready to go. And we'll take a look, Vito. What do you see?
I think he's asking the right question, but I just don't think there's enough there. I mean, this is part of the game. You're going to try to pull the referee's decision. I can't be upset about that no call.
If there was anything, it was just a nick on the toe.
But it's good to do that. I mean, it keeps everyone on their toes.
And I think the pause in the action is whether or not Gonzaga is going to challenge this potentially. Devano is grabbing his shoulder. He's going to get a little bit of treatment from the training staff here, and this does buy the coaching staff a little bit longer to consider should they challenge. Now, some adjustments to the VAR, video assistant referee, this year. Both coaches will get 2 challenges. If they're out of challenges and there's something really dramatic, an official can call their own challenge in the last 10 minutes of the game, but otherwise it's all on the coaches this season. So as is called on the field, no foul. Nice run into the box though from Michael Devano to create the opportunity. 10 minutes gone. Gonzaga with the better of the action so far, but still 0-0 here from Luger Field. Couple of Jesuit schools in action that have never competed against each other. 2 teams from the opposite sides of the country. In fact, this is the furthest Fordham has ever traveled for a game, furthest west. They'll actually break that record on Sunday when they play against Santa Clara and really make the trek all the way from east to west coast. Shea Moon dancing out of danger, and Gonzaga retreats back into shape. And Vito, looks like Gonzaga happy just to hold at half. They're not going to chase out and extend at a high press. Lekovic looking down the line to DeSessa. Brave header from Dahlhart. Ran the risk of catching a boot to the dome. As his outstretched hands and arms, wondering why that wasn't called.
I wonder if they're still getting adjusted to the new field here. A little bit harder. Ball doesn't bounce the same way as it used to.
Yeah, if you're not familiar, Gonzaga and the city of Spokane hosted the Egyptian national team this summer. As that one kept in, Perry Blay able to knock it eventually out for a throw-in. So Egypt actually practiced here at Luger Field, and in order to become eligible for that, Gonzaga put down FIFA eligible pitch. So a whole new level of sod, and it is a bit harder. It's a bit tighter. It doesn't kind of come up like that beaver pelt you see sometimes with a good golf shot. It definitely bounces differently. It's a fantastic pitch. It's just something that I think both teams will be equally unfamiliar with for a little while.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see how this season unfolds. You already see everyone's footing being a little bit more stable, which is going to make it more exciting. You're going to keep their feet instead of a slip out. They're going to be able to spin and move and get after it.
And Gonzaga does water the field before the game, so the ball skips nicely and should get moving quick. Isaac Dahlhart out of Oklahoma City. With it there, little 1-2 with Yeltsin. And over to Sam Dolan out of Shoreline, Washington. And Morgan Olson. Play with plenty of room. First time tonight we see the touch of Jeremy Onyecha, who came on for Devano after the shoulder injury. Onyecha, one of the more attacking-minded players Gonzaga has, comes off the bench, a little change of pace. So not surprising to see him in. Maybe surprising that he didn't get the start. Chance to prove whether or not that was a good call, but he'll see plenty of minutes this year. Ooh, tackled from behind, just cleaned right through. A lot of ball there. And the call is going to go in favor of Fordham. Well, the ball was definitely hit first by the captain, Cameron Mojabi. He went right through. Now we're hearing, no, that was a mistake. Pointed to the wrong way. So, okay, my eyes aren't fooling me here, Vito.
Yeah, the refs are only human. They make mistakes too, and that's okay.
All right, so Olsen out of Minnesota, the senior. And you see another look at the challenge here. Yeah, clearly. Right through the back of Damani McKenna. All right, Olsen has got a nice angle here. Outswinger whipped hard. Defenders stacked up all along the penalty spot. And that headed clear. Onetsha on the turn. Got 3 defenders to get around and just shrugged off of it. Probably biting off a little bit too much. A little bit of sparring here, Vito. Both teams just trying to get a feel for it. Gonzaga with some good possession, but unable to create a chance yet. Onetsha, a little bump, and that'll be another free kick.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little chippy. They're both doing a really good job defensively, getting underneath the ball, getting behind it, making it hard.
Chase Potter, no time to serve himself. Gonzaga will try the other side. Good high pressure from Gonzaga. Drew Peterson looking for the feet of the Kansas City native Onetsha. Well defended by Dahlhart, but Fordham able to pick back up possession. Off the knockdown, Nico Linares. Mojabi. Fordham with a lot of players transitioning out, namely Daniel DiPolito with 6 goals, 9 assists last season, the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year. With him gone, Daniel Lang, also 6-goal scorer of last year, looking for production. Where will it come from? Maybe this guy, Mizuno. Quickly changed over to DeSessa. And that should be out for a throw-in. It's off for Gonzaga. You can see just by the size of players out there, the style of play. Fordham wants to get the ball and play it, Vito. They want to get the ball on the ground. I think both teams honestly would like that, but Gonzaga, a little bit more athleticism and size as well. A lot of international flavor as well on this team. Here's Morgan Olsen. Jeremy Onetsha has Olsen streaking down the line. Still Onetsha. Carson Hammond allowed some time, but elects to find Potter. And Gonzaga will recycle. Onetsha space for a 1v1. Doesn't take it. And Gonzaga will say, let's try the other side. I'd like to see him take him on there, Vito. 1v1, that's his game.
I mean, they have numbers in the box, so, I mean, why not?
Good ball ripped in, but an easy catch that time for Perleman. A little bit of contact anyway, foul called. Not sure what was necessary, but will be a free kick on the ground for the Staten Island native. Just to cap off that point about international flavor for Fordham, a couple players from Italy, lots from all over New York, but Germany, Ontario, Canada, Spain, other parts of the country and international globe represented on this Fordham team. It's been all Gonzaga so far. Just trying to knead and find that opening. Perry Blay, the left back for GU, 7 assists last year in a Liberty University uniform. 3 big transfers away for Gonzaga. Alex Baja, Ian Silva, and Talon Rochelle, plus Robbie Mora graduated. A lot of goal scoring, a lot of attacking wherewithal for GU. So they went to the transfer portal as well to rebuild. Key challenge there from Isaac Dahlhart, stretching out those long legs. Dahlhart standing at 6'3". Olsen, a little nod back to Blay over the head of Onecha. Big chug of the jersey on the Icelander, Haltson, but able to shrug off the challenges. A lot of Icelandic history with this program. Of course, Einar Thorarinsson, the former head coach for Gonzaga for decades through the 90s and in the 2000s, always was bringing in Icelanders. I know when we played here, Vito, there was always 3 or 4 Icelanders rotating through. One of the best was Kari Arnason, former Icelandic national teamer who played in a World Cup and a Euros.
Yeah, Einar definitely liked his Islanders. You got the Icelanders and you had the boys from Hawaii.
That's right.
And then everyone else.
When there were small-sided practice games, it was always Islanders together. And that might seem like an odd thing, you know, the Hawaiians next to some Icelanders, but frankly, it worked.
It did.
Islanders respect Islanders.
Yeah, those good old state games. Those are fun times. Yeah, it's definitely nice seeing another Icelander in the program. Just brings good culture in.
One thing that's really interesting as the game has changed and you're allowed to pay players in a kind of different fashion, you're going to get some players who have played professionally overseas coming with eligibility to school. So kind of a different format. You might have some guys who grew up playing and maybe had a few stints in the Icelandic professional league or other leagues around the country. One guy we may see tonight is freshman out of Seattle, Senshin Suzuki for Gonzaga. And he actually played a short stint professionally with the U19s, but with a professional club in Poland. So, you know, some different flavor. In fact, guys are getting drafted to Major League Soccer, but then staying in college for another year, even though they're part of a professional team there too. A little tug from behind on the jersey of Carson Hammond. Free kick over to Gonzaga.
Yeah, that collaboration with the professional leagues into the colleges, it's a good one. I know it's a headache for college coaches and recruiting and scouting and things like that, but it really is just make it a little bit more opportunistic and friendly. So it's not this, you know, got to do this or do that and forfeit your amateurism to, yeah. So it's moving in the right direction. It still needs some work done.
The advantage is it falls within a pyramid now, right? So now college soccer is not this sideshow. It's actually connected with the professional game and where players could develop on a way to a professional career. Yeah, you're right. It's not there yet, but I like the idea. And we're hearing more and more that eventually college could be like a USL branded or something in the tiers.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fascinated to see how that grows and changes over the years. Here's the first good opportunity for Fordham. It's Betancourt, and he's met by a well-timed challenge from Isaac Dahlhart.
Immediately, Isaac is already an outstanding presence back there, and he's only a sophomore, so he's only going to get better. I mean, hopefully they can hang on to him and he doesn't get signed professionally as we're talking about that, but he's going to be a fun player. Definitely watch this kid all the way through the season.
Ooh, dangerous square ball. Morgan Olsen alert to it and bails out his left back. A little too much contact, and that's a whistle. Nice positioning from Levi Swearingen. Surveying the scene there. It's Ryan Shamoon. Gonzaga happy to concede possession back at the half line. Little hip flick back to Swearingen. And that one through the legs of Blay. And once again, Isaac Dalhart putting in his own highlight reel. He's got a season's worth of slide tackles in the first 25 minutes.
Yeah, I want to know where he learned all this, because that's a lost art, being able to tackle so securely.
Sliding on the wet pitch here. As shadows completely covered the pitch now, cooling down quite a bit. As we said before, about 95 degrees in Spokane earlier today. Still warm, no question about that, but cooling down quickly. Peterson just tried to clear it out. Didn't get all of it. Dolan with a little look up. Looking for Peterson. Ian McKenna with plenty of pace to get after it. Morgan Olsen just lost the touch, but shows some diligence and strength. Able to get across the front of the defender and earns the third free kick for Gonzaga tonight. And instead they take it quick. A lot of 1v1s on this channel here. Gonzaga yet to spring one. If they can beat somebody in one of these duels, they're going to be in and force the defense to shift across. Monty McKenna. Barry Blaze. Good high pressure, forced back once again. But still with it. Play all the way across the field. Will help it along as Hjaltsen takes his spot here at the left back position for a moment. Olsen a little look over his shoulder, seeing he had the pressure, and will just retain. All Gonzaga in terms of possession right now, but not creating much with it.
I definitely like to see that they're getting more numbers forward, but like you just said, they need to do something with it if they're gonna, make some more attempts.
Little shove in the back from Mirko Lekovic. Last time Gonzaga just played it short and quickly. We'll see if they take an opportunity to lump it into the box this time. No, they'll just keep it. Olsen with the most space he's had all night. A lot of passing back right now. Little run from Potter into the channel. Flag is down so far. Potter out of the reach of the goalkeeper, but touched away and finally cleared. And a little too much contact from Dalhart that time. Fordham will get a breather. Here's the look for Potter.
That's what I'm talking about. Just a couple more players in the box to maybe scoop up that rebound and have another opportunity. little more decision making from the boys.
Potter did a nice job there of just redirecting the ball in. Wasn't quite sure what he had, but was running out of time along the end line. Got a crisp cross away from the goalkeeper. Peterson just couldn't get there in time. For Gonzaga, just the start of the season, but we already start looking forward a little bit. Big matchup here today, and then on Sunday, they'll welcome in the reigning national champions, University of Washington, to Luger Field. And of course, the Pac-12, different opponents. Is that dangerous throwing back there? Last-ditch defending, and the coaching staff all up shouting, hey, getting things organized. Not happy with that loose play. If you're a Gonzaga fan, you're so used to the Portlands and the San Diegos and all these matchups that have been in the conference for years. This year, now you've got UC San Diego and Cal Baptist, Sacramento State, Oregon State, Cal Poly. So it's going to be a really different year. Here's Perry Blay. Damani McKenna rises, but it's won by the Fordham defense. It was Bruno Celerino, the Italian, who rose well and cleared it away. It's kind of fun, though, Vito, to see different teams, you know, different styles of play, different players that aren't so familiar with exactly how you want to play. It's not such a grind once you get into conference. But we really have no idea what to expect. Kind of the meshing of the Pac-12 that doesn't have all of those schools with men's soccer programs, so they combined with the Big West, and they have this kind of mixture for men's soccer this year.
Yeah, traditionally a very strong conference, and I think it will continue to be that. It is nice. It's refreshing. I mean, you do get into a plateau of playing the same schools over and over, and there's some cultural and history thing there, which is really nice, but it'll be a nice fresh start, especially with the way the game's going.
Oregon State, one of the top teams in the country traditionally, who will come from the Pac-12, but probably the best team from the Big West is UC Santa Barbara, always a national powerhouse. Potter trying a little right-footed outside flick. And Gonzaga again reloading, but this time the pass back not crisp enough. And last off the shins of Carson Hammond. Half hour gone here at Luger Field. Both teams with plenty of aggression to start. Some good soccer out there, but nobody really creating chances yet.
I can't recall there being a shot on goal. I don't think there has been. A couple of shots wide.
Sam Dolan called for that one. He was shouting for the whistle, and in the end it went against him, much to the seniors' frustration. And now Gonzaga having to do the due diligence and staying organized defensively here on the set piece. Celerino is there with the left-footed option. Looks like Shea Moon with the right foot. Ryan Shemoon to serve. Right to Preciado, who got a palm to it and does enough to force it all the way out. Nonecha might even keep it with Gonzaga, and he does. Nicely played. Goal kick to GU.
This is quite the dangerous ball. You got Chema full stretch just swatting, a big old bear paw. That could have gone either way, and thankfully we have a good goalkeeper in the net. So
nice to have the length, too. He looked like he maybe misread it a little bit, but was still able to stretch to it.
Yeah, those in-swinging balls from that distance can be highly dangerous.
A few substitutions readying themselves for Fordham on the sideline here. Looks like Marco Cantalpiedra, the number 30, Sam Delgado, and Gavin Flickinger ready to come on. Dahlhart forced to chest it down. Now Blay with space in front. Onyecha likes his chances with Swearingen. Two defenders usher him back out, and then Onyecha gave it away. Now Mizuno on the counterattack. It's 2-on-6. And nice work from Gonzaga just to get back in numbers and make it tough. Now trying the other way as the match starts to stretch out a little bit. Room in the midfield. Morgan Olsen. Damani McKenna. His cross blocked out for a corner. So all the defenders pour forward. Only Perry Blay back for Gonzaga. Morgan Olsen. To serve it. 2 goals last year. Started every match for GU. Gonzaga pulls up at the back post. Hultzen with it. And a thumbs up for the service. He got a lot on it. Just got a little too far past the near post.
This is what we're wanting to see. I mean, good runs, good, not a bad service. Just, yeah, like you said, just a little bit past that post.
Needed more of a flick than getting the meat of the forehead on it. So as Fordham brings 4 new ones on, Peterson and Potter make way for Gonzaga. And the first look at the freshman out of Seattle, Senshin Suzuki, who we mentioned has some experience with the Polish Professional League, also an English academy where he grew up in and played. Also Michael Luand up top for Drew Peterson. In the college game, you can return back in, so Peterson and Potter likely able to come back in the second half of play still. And again, Gonzaga with kind of that set piece opportunity, but elects to go back and play short instead, and then in the end doesn't get a service. Nice play there from Perry Blay, able to retain and return possession to the Zags. Ojambi chested down for Cantala Piedra.
I mean, Fordham's really doing a good job at putting pressure on this Gonzaga team. I think if I have to be overly critical for both teams, is just quickness of play, transition, moving of the ball. Just needs to happen quicker. There's too many 3 touches happening when it should happen in 1 and 2.
Luan given the opportunity to release. He held it up nicely, but defended with scrappy defense to get it back for Fordham. Rams look over the top. Perry Blay. Swearingen. Little flick from Celerino. Ooh, and a nice turn from Swearingen, able to get past Onyecha. Dahlhart scampering back, able to get there. 1 man down, still alive, and floated up and out by Carson Hammond. Best opportunity of the night for Fordham. And it all started with that play from Swearingen and the service. And it was last-ditch defending here, just trying to get bodies in the way for Gonzaga. Look at how deep Dahlhart was, almost on the goal line.
This will be exciting stuff. I think that's a perfect example of this field holding up. There'd be a lot more slipping if this was last season.
This one crossed in, and Bresciato there. How do you think Chris McGahee is going to feel at this point, Vito?
I think he's feeling okay. I mean, I think, as I pointed out, some criticism that, you know, and for both teams, but specifically for Gonzaga, they need to play a little bit quicker. There's too many moments where they're 3 touches. Well, this is good. This is what we want. This puts a little stress on the Fordham back line, makes them, you know, sit back a little bit, might create some more space in the midfield. But again, things just need to happen quicker. I mean, they have the tools. You can see them do it. It just needs to happen more often.
Tightrope down the sideline and then finally cleared out. Elias Betancourt saw some opportunity. With the substitutions, a little shift in positions. Celerino was on the left, Betancourt was the middle. Now he's out to the right, a little more advanced. Celerino's in the center. Just manipulating a little bit the lineup, Carlo Acquista. Suzuki gives chase and pressure.
I mean, you can hear Chris. I mean, another thing is just some more risk. These are the games you want to take those risks to, hopefully build some confidence.
Ooh, big collision there, but I think Dahlhart was just standing his ground. It might have looked worse because of the slip. The referee calming things down, and then a late whistle does give it to the Rams.
As you can see here, it's just, again, this is just tackling 101, big body. I mean, I would regret not doing a little shout out to my guy Owen Omiya, the king of tackles, so I'm sure he's liking this style.
Former Gonzaga defender. All right, good opportunity here from Fordham. A delightful angle where you can put it on goal if you want or put it across the face of the goalkeeper because players can run on. It's got enough of a trajectory from the side. It'll be Bruno Celerino to serve. And he goes for it. Not a bad attempt, a little deep for that with a goalkeeper of this quality.
Yeah, that's it. That's just easy pickings. Easy pickings for Chema.
Suzuki down the line. Just over 5 minutes left to play in the first half. Still knotted up 0-0. No goals scored for either team yet in the 2026 season. And their first real match of the year.
Yeah, do we know how they did in those exhibitions?
I saw the first one here, 2-0. They won 7-0 in the second one.
All right.
So they have seen the ball go into the net here at Luger. Preciado. The laser of a clearance.
So again, they have the tools. It's just if they can apply it at a higher level against higher teams. I mean, that's what's kind of nice about this Fordham is that it's an unknown. Don't quite know about. All we know is that, they're coming from the East Coast and they're ready to play. They're physical, they're hungry, and they're not going to lay down. So this is a good first game for Gonzaga.
Fordham looking for a good result to start off the season under Acquista. 3-3-1 in season openers. And in the last 3 years, 2 wins and 1 tie. So yet to lose in the season opener. Clever little ball from Celerino. Oh, and the touch was just a letdown from Elias Betancourt. The senior made a beautiful run. The transfer from Temple did everything right until it bounced off his thigh.
And you can see Chema just kind of losing his marbles on that. I think he's 100% right to. I mean, Gonzaga there dodged a bullet. That should have been in the back of the net, but thankfully, maybe some heavy legs from Fordham flying from the East Coast didn't put in the back.
Everybody just fell asleep a little bit, right? Thought they had plenty of time.
Yeah, I think some heat sinking in, even though it's cooling off. I think they've been in the dog days, I'm sure, with preseason.
Little change to college soccer this year. Usually teams reported right at the beginning of August, and then really officially practices started kind of mid-August. Before late August, you already had games coming quick and fast. This year they're allowed to start training earlier into July. So a little less rigor, a little less two-a-days, but a little longer preseason.
Yeah, again, I think it's a good model. I mean, it is tough when you're taking 2 months off in the summer and you're expected to just like rev the engines up from a cold start. That's not how that goes. So again, I think college soccer is moving in the right direction. there's still a lot of things to figure out, and of course it's always evolving. But yeah.
One of the things that hasn't started yet this year, but next year will be an extended season as well. As Preciado called out for this one. Oh, it takes big contact, makes the save, surely a foul. No intent to hurt Preciado or anything like that from Betancourt, but that's all goalkeeper ball, and Preciado just cleared out here. I don't think Betancourt actually really saw it or realized he was there.
No, I mean, again, this is what you're going to get from Chema. You're going to get someone that has bravery. He's going to come out. I'd like to see a little bit more assertiveness and not so casual to receive the hit. You know, I always like to be the aggressor in those situations where I'm putting the hit on a guy.
Just to cap that point about changes coming, the idea is to move it instead of just a fall season where you pack in as many games you possibly can. That college soccer will extend over the winter and into the spring and kind of have a season A and a season B that will combine, and that will allow you to do once a week games instead of twice a week games, and the kinds of things that cause a lot of injuries.
Yeah, it just overloads it, and you know, there's purposes for it, but this is, again, a lot more feasible of a schedule for the players, and to be honest, for the coaches and the staff as well. It's not a rat race in 3 months. You know, it'll be a little bit spread out. Everyone will find their routine. It'll be weird at first. You know, there'll be some people that don't like it, but once they settle in, I think it'll be perfect.
Plus, how good can you get if you're only playing games like 3 months of the whole entire year, you know, where everybody else professionally around the world's playing for like 10 months?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, under a minute left to go in the first half of play here. A bit of a sparring jabs from both sides. Couple of punches thrown, but nothing too dangerous as of yet. As these two teams feeling out not only their opponents, but themselves here. Big lump, that one will go, just over the fence towards Lake Arthur.
I think if I recall the
That's
days
a
I was
freshman
playing.
job, right?
Yeah, that's a freshman job, and I also think I've hit a few over that fence as well. Well, there was no fence then.
I probably had to go and shag them for you. All righty, that will do it. First half of play ends Fordham 0, Gonzaga 0. We'll take a break here. We'll be back to show you highlights and stats from the first half of action as the Zags and the Rams 0-0 at half. Welcome back to the evening in Spokane, Washington. The logo of the Pac-12 and Gonzaga up downtown near the pavilion at Riverside State Park. Riverfront State Park, excuse me. Gonzaga and Fordham 0-0 at the half. Vito Higgins alongside myself, John Billings. And Vito, first half of some good soccer, some good possessions, some good opportunities, but didn't really create the chances that anybody be looking for. For Gonzaga, they're taking on Fordham for the first time they ever have. And there's going to be a lot of teams that they've never played against. Fordham here now, as we look at the schedule upcoming, you got Utah Tech, Northwest, Creighton, Loyola, Chicago, Cal State Bakersfield, and UNLV before the season. But I missed one in there. That's the one on Sunday. That's a big one. The reigning national champion Huskies.
Yeah, it's a cross-state rival. That's always where the dogs meet the dogs. So obviously UW has shown up with their stuff last year, and let's see if they can retain it.
It's going to be a fun matchup. I mean, when both of those teams stink, it's still a great game, and they don't stink now, right? And it's going to be an absolute dogfight. Excuse the pun. Sunday night, 7 p.m. Tickets still available if you want to come down and see it in person, but certainly tune in. We'll have that one for you here. Vito and I will be back to call the action. Gonzaga, their 37th meeting against UW, and it's been pretty lopsided. Gonzaga not on the fair end of that one, but the last time they matched up, 1-1 here a couple years ago. Well, we've got some players warming up here. We got the coaches talking to the teams and preparing for second half action. We'll take a quick break, go grab a respite. We'll be back to show you some highlights from the first half as we get ready for the second 45. first 45 minutes of the 2026 season are completed. And no advantage yet. Gonzaga and Fordham still trying to get that early first goal, see who can get the lead in this one and try to take it through to a victory to kick off the season. Well, we didn't have a ton of highlights and a ton of stats to share, but we did have a few good opportunities for each team. Vito, to start things off, it was Fordham with the free kick, and Preciado was right on.
Yeah, that's that big old bear paw. That's what we like to see from Chema, and, thankfully he was there.
Gonzaga had an opportunity with Potter, and then they had some corners, a number of set pieces. This one from Morgan Olsen off the head of Hjaltsen.
Yeah, again, just a little bit on the front end of that post, but that sends a warning shot.
Then right at the end of the half, a couple of good opportunities. This one, Swearingen developed, and it was kind of defense by committee to get this thing cleared.
Yeah, thankfully they were able to get it out, but that's just an example of how that field's holding up. It's going to be an exciting season to see guys play on it.
And this was Celerino with a nice, clever play, caught Gonzaga napping, and the finish just wasn't there from Betancourt. So really, in the end, I think these highlights indicative of the match. Some half chances for both teams. Fordham with better clear-cut chances, and Preciado able to come out and keep it at a deadlock. Despite the chances kind of back and forth, it was much more possession for Gonzaga. If you look at the possession stats, you'd see them in favor. Fouls pretty even, shots pretty even, and really only one save. But Preciado showed he was alert throughout the half.
Yeah, absolutely. And they did a good job holding ball. Fordham did a really good job of defensively getting into their shape, into their blocks, and made it really hard for Gonzaga to create opportunity.
So both coaching staffs talking to their teams now about the tweaks to the second half of play, who can break things open and find the first goal. 0-0 at the half. We'll take one more break. We'll be back to get you ready for the second half of action. Welcome back on a beautiful night in Spokane, Washington. The moon is out. Do not adjust your set. That is moving across the sky. A little time lapse, a little artwork here, Vito, on a Thursday evening. It's been a long day out here. Girls playing before, the boys playing tonight. I'm gonna lose my voice by the end of tonight here, but it'll be worth it. Well worth it. Preciado and the crew, thank you. Getting ready for second half of play. We've got about 1:30 left of halftime festivities before we get back to action. Be interesting to see, Vito, if Gonzaga makes any substitutions at the start of the second half. Remember, Michael Divano was really dynamic at the start of the game, but he left grabbing his shoulder. Jeremy Onetcha came in for him. So we'll keep an eye out and see if Divano is able to return. You're just kind of looking down on the sideline. It actually looks like it might be his parents talking to him. He's got his arm in a sling, so I think that'll answer that question. We hope not for too long, but certainly not back here tonight. So a blow for GU, who Coach Chris McGuy said we've already got a lot of guys nicked up, banged up a little bit, and trying to get through. One of the players that they were really high on, Cantafio, Dylan out of UCLA, the transfer from Orange, California. He blew his knee out a couple weeks prior to the season. So some injury bugs already kind of working through Gonzaga, trying to get some players back to fitness. And now just losing one more in the first half. Sun is completely gone now. Field drenched in the lights. Kind of see the four-way shadows on the players and officials out there as we get ready for the second half of play. Number of substitutions to end the first half for Fordham, and a lot of them still out on the pitch. First action here for Joel Gonzalez, the number 10. Transfer from Chaminade, a freshman. Excuse me, number 8, a freshman out of Chaminade. For Gonzaga, Michael Lawan stays on after coming in late in the first half. And Jackson Farrell, the freshman out of Seattle, Washington, on the right channel here, also in for GU. Off the back of Lawan, able to chase it down. Michael Lawan, all on his own, tons of contact, and a little face-to-face action as Lawan says, I'm all for it. Let's do it. Official doesn't like it, but Lawan gets his bench pumped up. Says, you didn't bother me with that contact. I don't think either of those two had a problem with it. One of the Fordham teammates came over to talk, but I think both of those guys said, hey, we like physical soccer. Coach McGahee wonders what's the deal. Sometimes the official wants a little extra control, whether it's needed or not. Probably better safe than sorry, though.
Yeah, we all want to be friends when we walk off this field tonight.
All right, so second half, starting with a little bit of a bang. Ball into the channel. Good first touch. Hart was there. Calvin Flickinger, the number 11, the target. Long throw from Ojabi. Lumped away. I think it was off the foot of Halton. And Fordham with a nice start to the second half. Gonzaga just allowing Fordham back along the back line, but able to break that first bit of pressure easily. Ojabi blocked away on the sliding challenge from Hammond. Now Ojabi, laser-like throw. Good first touch from Cantal Piedra. Hammond, the overhead kick to clear. Need our fourth official to grab the ball right behind him here. Instead, the players have to reach over the fence and retrieve it. And the knockdown, Centerio. It's blocked away. Was it a handball? Preciado out. It makes the save. An awkward one, immediately clutching his hand. You wonder if he caught a finger the wrong direction. Here's the chance. Bruno Celerino. And it looks like shoulder. What'd you see there, Vito?
Yeah, I think shoulder. I'm claiming shoulder. But yeah, Chema really took that awkwardly.
Preciado able to bounce back up. A little bit of help from our center official, Josh Madison. It looks like he's okay. All Fordham here to start the second half. And I think we're going to see a replay review. So this year, 2 coaching challenges for each team. I think we've already seen early on that that's a bit too much because you just throw a flyer. If you see anything in the box, you say it's worth a try. And that's what we got this time. Carlo Aquista says, hey, if that's a penalty, it's worth me taking the risk here. So they're going to go over and take a look. And they'll see pretty much what we're seeing here. And what they're looking for here is whether or not Isaac Dahlhart used an arm to block that shot. Vito, I'll let you take. What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, it's, that a little bit of a chicken wing in there, but.
Here's a little closer look. Dahlhart leaning without question. Arms against. I think what he's got in favor is he put his arm kind of behind his back.
The structure of his arm is definitely tight to the body, but does he swing that left a little bit more? That does not.
That angle didn't look
that's
good,
a good. That's not a good look. So this will be interesting what the referee comes up with. I think Fordham's right to challenge it.
Yeah. On the field, it was not called a penalty, so that would be the piece that has to be overturned. He's definitely leaning, but it looks like it's kind of on the sleeve rather than the elbow.
Yeah. If there's anything lower, I think it's. Here we go.
It looks like he's saying the arm was close to the body. And it will be out for the eventual corner kick. I think you'd have to say worth the challenge for Aquista to give it a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I mean, you can't blame him for that.
It would have been a bit harsh to give it, but it was close.
I think anything lower, thankfully that ball struck up a little bit higher. Anything lower, definitely with that swing, would have been called.
Well, if they called it the other way, I'm not sure there would have been enough to change it either way. So here we go. Corner kick back into the box. Fordham trying to do it out of straight play, and the header glances wide.
Yeah, Fordham's a little on the aggressing moment. They've had a few looks. They put some pressure.
Jason Sue had that one glance off the forehead. Always interested to see out of halftime what adjustments are made. Sometimes it's obvious. You can see a change in formation or certainly a change in kind of strategy. Other times it's a bit more subtle. Right now it looks like Fordham just pumped up a little bit more and a bit more intensity. Gonzaga hasn't had the ball enough to really show their adjustments yet.
Yep. Yeah, I think the Fordham head coach just said you can get out and become more physical. Put some hits on them, which is exactly what they've done.
Onecha giving chase. Michael Luan, those two split. A little too heavy from Jason's shoe, but he able to clear. Nice deft flick, and now Fordham in the transition. Swearingen looking on the diagonal. Good first touch. Opportunity to the back post. Preciado had to be alert for a moment, thought it might be curling toward his post from Joel Gonsalves.
I mean, that's just a well-played ball. The diags are open for both teams, and Fordham's taking advantage of it right there. Gonzaga needs to be careful. Their door's opening, and they need to shut it.
The freshman from East Meadow, New York, Joel Gonsalves. with a beautiful first touch, just couldn't have the finishing to complete it. Here's Gonzaga's freshman. Jackson Farrell battling into the corner, still with Farrell. Now Mojabi able to get the better of him. Jackson Farrell played some left back in the exhibition match. Played a little bit on the wing. Coach Magahi just trying to find some time for him on the field. He's earned it. That ball out of bounds.
I believe it was out of bounds.
What gave it away? The sixth time they shouted it out? Drew Peterson still subbed out after kind of midway through the first half, getting a breather. You know, last year he scored 7 goals, but just on 21 shots. So he's not the kind of guy you have to give service to all night long and then he'll get one. He could spring it with one opportunity here. Well, how about that speed? Cruising down the side is Perry Blay. Off to Jeremy Onetcha. Blay on the turn. Potter. Potter with a chance to glance up, see what opportunities are in front of him. Doesn't see much. Morgan Olson offering a solution, but go back the other way with Suzuki. Onetcha on the pirouette. Suzuki, the diagonal. Water flicking off the ball as it spun through the air. Good tackle from Potter. Now transition. Carson Hammond. UC Davis transfer is knocked down and a corner, near the corner, free kick for Gonzaga. Hammond just clever there, stepping in front.
Yep, create that contact barrier, take the hit, get the call. And Morgan Olson will serve. Last little conversation with assistant Brian Hernandez. Some advice on this cross. His corners from a similar distance, that outswinger whipped in. Good driven ball. And cleared away by, I think it was Celerino.
I mean, it had the pace. That's just a slight little deflection of the forehead, and that's in the back of the net. So if they can keep those cooking, that'd be nice.
Another chance. This one towards Michael Lawand. Dahlhart was up there too. Sam Dolan will try the diagonal. Onetcha's got a couple yards of space. And he serves with the left foot. Only as far as a Fordham defender. Now it's a foot race. Dahlhart gave up a couple steps before he recovers. And able to usher it out.
Outstanding.
Good play from both players. Gonsalves able to earn a corner kick. It was actually Flickinger able to earn a corner kick, the freshman out of Henderson, Nevada.
And that really was an outstanding play by Isaac. I mean, he shuttled them out. He didn't tackle. We see that he can tackle. And to be honest, I was a little worried he was going to tackle in the wrong moment, but he held his ground. Young player. Again, I'll say this 10 times out of 10. That's a player you want to watch this season.
In swinging service for Fordham. Oh, Onetcha at the near post. Had to do it with the head. That might have been Michael Lawand actually back there doing defensive work, the forward. Well, as Fordham gets into it a little bit more in the second half, Gonzaga looks to counter. You're starting to see the midfield stretch. And you get that feeling, Vito, the goal is about to come here. Both teams starting to open up a little bit of gaps. But I'd be lying if I told you I know which team it's going to be.
think you're accurate with saying that.
Hammond able to sneak past one, but not two. Little flick on from Jackson Farrell, the freshman. Suzuki able to win that challenge, hit it off the boot of Gonsalves. Remember, a number of starters out right now for Gonzaga. And if you see a few players, Damani McKenna, Drew Peterson, Haltson, all starting to get up and slowly warm up down in toward the corner flag. Dahlin retreats. A nice little flick turn from Hammond. The contact was minor, but it tripped him up. Fordham didn't like it. Gonzaga restarts quick. Necho's had a lot of opportunities, but hasn't been able to unlock it yet. All he needs is one. Suzuki surveys. Jeremy Onecha to the back post. Michael Lawand. And Lawand, a lot like Drew Peterson, he is in a handful. He's going to be busy. He's big, he's strong, and he's an aerial threat. Kamran Monjambi, senior. Celerino with Suzuki all over him. Lofted up. It's going to require some defending. And the shout from the coaching staff with Fordham is keep it, keep it. Trying to maintain some possession here. Santal Piedra sends it in. Dahlhart had to risk his own forehead. Made the play. Now Gonzaga kind of slow in transition, just no options. Nice turn with the left from Jason Sue.
You know, we might be getting some tired legs out there. Maybe that preseason, those exhibitions are catching up to him.
But good time to bring some of those subs back in, yeah.
Absolutely. But, you know, Fordham's probably dealing with the same thing, so no excuses, just the reality. So Gonzaga needs to just stay a little bit more composed under pressure. And I'll go back to they need to get the ball and move the ball quickly.
Yeah, you got to give credit where it's due. I think I misspoke. Sam Delgado with that nice turn. 7 goals, 4 assists in his time with William and Mary. A big transfer to bring some experience into this Fordham team. Ooh, a big shove from Delgado. Let's see if the ref caught it. Is this one of those where we're going to give a warning, or is this one where he's going to just call a foul? I think this is going to be, hey, don't do that again, but we're still going to do this. It's like telling your kid, if you do that one more time, and then you say that 3 more times before bed.
The old gentleman retake.
Luan able to get the first touch. And Potter got the second. Michaelis with the flick, and it's still with Fordham, and a foot save to deny the shot from a tight angle. Flickinger was aiming for the near post.
And again, this is why Chema is one of the best in the nation. Outstanding agility to make that save, but even more so after the play, he walked up to that defender who made the mistake, patted him on the back, and said, "It's all good, I got you." That's outstanding goalkeeping.
Preciado now a real leader on this team. All right, all Fordham here at the hour mark. Celerino with the service. Off the thighs of Michael Lewand. And shouts from Gonzaga, trying to reorganize things. Preciado happy to let that one run, as is his right back. And the whistle comes.
I mean, really, back to your point of not knowing who's going to score first or next. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, I think it's going to be whoever's going to make the first mistake.
Which may not be that surprising early in the season like this, right? As we see the Pac-12 preseason watch list, Preciado on that. Drew Peterson, another one of those players in the mix. And everything you see there, the saves, the goals against, the shutouts, all in the top 10 in Gonzaga history. He's going to have a tough time getting to the top of the charts, but he's going to be near it by the time he finishes up this season in his last year at GU. Ooh, a nice interchange, and it springs free for Fordham. Cantel Piedra. Serve to the back post, and it was read the whole way. Perry Blay right now making an offer for man of the match for Gonzaga. He's been all over the pitch tonight. Suzuki went to ground really early, but just kind of forced the attacker out of play. Shea Moon just ran out of space. It was Gonsalves, actually. And Vito, to your point, first game of the season, a lot of new players. Maybe not surprising that a mistake could be the difference. But I think both coaching staff would love for people, they'd much rather a 0-0 tie that their team held strong and didn't make a mistake, probably, rather than getting goals but giving up opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dahlhart with the last touch, and it will be another free kick out for Fordham. Their fourth, excuse me, of the night. And they get the breakthrough. It'll be another in-swinger. No traffic in front of Preciado. They're going to start it short. And Hammond with some nice defending, a little look into the face of the attacker. It didn't look like a taunt as much as a laugh. In fact, both were smiling as they ran away.
I think it's early to be doing that. Still plenty of game left.
Well, it's also risky to shuffle that out and be kind of tricky. All it takes is a little knee, and that one's in the back of the net.
Yeah, in that situation, I would have liked to see Gonzaga get up outside of their 6, but they kind of held deeper, which I'm surprised Chema allowed.
Substitutions for Gonzaga. The freshman Jackson Farrell will leave, and coming on, Damani McKenna. And we see the first action for sophomore Dashiell Stein, the sophomore out of Mount Lake, Washington, who will come onto that left channel out there. And still no Drew Peterson. Juan takes a little challenge. Stein gives chase. The wand is just like a dog on the leash, where you're like having a tug to pull him back. He at times stops because he knows I shouldn't just chase it. I should wait for my team and get the angle. But man, he wants to run. Much rather have that than the opposite, right? A lazy player who never wants to stretch the legs. Bumped away by Dahlhart. Decent crowd here at Luger Field. A few on the stands on the far side. Some of the women's players after their game today showered up and back out. And quite a few on the berm. Some of them who were here earlier in the sunshine for the Gonzaga versus Arizona women's match. A full soccer weekend here in Spokane.
Yeah, it's really nice to see that commitment from the fans coming out, putting in the double shift. I mean, it's a beautiful night, so where else would you want to be?
Love it. Spokane, a lot of soccer activity these two matches today. We'll get back to that in just a sec here. That's a long try, never testing Preciado. Saturday night, Spokane Velocity with the match here in town. Sunday, Gonzaga men taking on UW. And a youth soccer tournament going out at Plants Ferry. I know you and I are going to spend a couple minutes around the soccer pitch this week.
That we will.
Senshin Suzuki with a nice pass out to the right wing. Now the chance over the top. Luan to give chase. And was it last touched off the wand? I think it was. Nice play back defensively, and you could see a cheer for himself from Arne Michaelis, the German, formerly a part of Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, he's done well. I've been really impressed with him. He's definitely put a very controlled shift out for the boys, anchoring that back line, that's for sure.
He came in for Petrovic, who was playing early, who started in that spot, and I could see the coaches, could see him kind of shouting. He was saying he was being so negative about every little thing, and they made the change, and since coming on, Michaelis has been fantastic. He's going to force Blay back defending. Swearinger, again able to get the better of him with that little chop through and the nutmeg. But Blay keeps on running.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes that moment is what a player needs to take advantage of. You know, another player doesn't show up to play, they get subbed out, player comes in, and that could be the rest of the season. I mean, he's showing well so far. That ball, that diag he just played was absolutely outstanding. So
get the opportunity, don't turn back, right?
yeah. Take it and run.
This one floated over. Oh, and there's a slip at an inopportune time. Suzuki able to clear. And out for a throw-in. 68th minute. Both teams lightly knocking. If they weren't knocking in the first half, there's a light knock on the door this half. Haven't seen any real clear-cut chances for Gonzaga here in the second 45, but Drew Peterson still on the bench, waiting with some fresh legs. Now Luand, who's earning his minutes, shows his pace there. I'd love to see Luand and Peterson play together sometimes. I mean, man, talk about occupying the center backs.
Bash Bros is what comes to my mind.
Yeah. Mighty Ducks.
That would be, yeah, that would be an absolute nightmare to have to deal with.
This looks like it'll be a long throw to Monty McKenna. Bainbridge native to serve it in. Suzuki just in front of Perliman, the goalkeeper. The official's got a close eye on it. Flicked from Dahlhart, but nobody there at the back post. Exactly the flick you wanted, but not the spacing to have someone there. Now Potter, he's going to launch it back in. Dahlhart's still up there. Perliman off his line. Dahlhart got it. It's off the post. And the whistle for a foul. Dahlhart with a header. Perliman is still down.
Yeah, this isn't good. He took quite, I mean, again,
Oh,
very
no.
brave.
And a red card given to Isaac Dahlhart. The official saw something they didn't like. Not sure what it was or what was said. Here's a look at it again. Dahlhart. Rose, he was looking at the ball the entire time. I don't think he really made a foul there. Just caught the hands of Perleman.
No, that's uncalled for.
And then Perleman went down really hard. He's still down on the ground. As Isaac Dahlhart was walking away, he must have said something, not sure what exactly. And a hot head from the official just made an instant gut reaction and whips out a red card. I thought he might give a yellow or something.
And I really don't think it's a foul at all. It's just a challenge. I mean, how he played as a goalkeeper, yeah, it's dangerous, but when you come out that far for a ball, you're going to get hit. There definitely needs to be protection for goalkeepers, but at the same time, that's part of the job. We don't need to make goalkeepers softer.
Well, let's take a look at it again. Dahlhart is looking at the ball the entire time. He definitely didn't look back towards the goalkeeper and occupy it. And then he says, I'm not sure what. Dahlhart walks around, looked down for a moment. He said something there.
Yeah, that caught his attention, that's for sure.
It certainly did. Look, he whipped right around and decides it's going to be about him and not the players tonight. Dahlhart needs to keep his mouth shut, and I'd like the ref to have a little more poise, but wow, big change to the match here. With 20 minutes left to go, the player of the game, Isaac Dahlhart, who's been a fantastic center back for Gonzaga, multiple challenges, conducting things, winning headers, and almost got the first goal of the game. In the aftermath, is sent off. Gonzaga's going to have to play without a man and without their center back, their starting center back for the matchup against UW on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a big loss, as we saw how good he was already showing. But, you know, he's a young player, so hopefully he learns his lessons early. And, you know, and this is just a fluke instance, but he's still going to be an outstanding player to watch.
We're going to see whether or not Perleman can continue. He's walking off gingerly. I think we're going to see a substitution coming on for Fordham in goal. It will be Shayon Kashi, the junior out of Maryland. And we're also doing a video review. And Vito, honestly, I'm not exactly sure what you're reviewing here. If it's contesting what he said that shouldn't have been a red, or contesting the actual foul. It didn't lead to the goal directly, so we'll have to see what they're looking for here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting used to this. This was not a part of the game when as a player or even as a coach. But, yeah, we're looking at this.
Well, it's not like he could call back the foul unless it led to a penalty kick or a goal. They're not going to go back just to change a foul call. So the only thing you really could challenge is the issuance of the red card. The referee coming back out. Let's see what happens. Everybody, both teams are as eager to understand what's going on next.
And did we know, did that review come from a challenge or
It's a good question.
one of the coaches?
Coach Chris McGahee is asking what's going on. I would love to be let's say a fly on the wall, but maybe just a microphone down in that space. The shot was it hit the post. Well, either way, we got a new goalkeeper in there for Fordham. He's going to have to get warm quick. Experienced goalkeeper. Nice to have to bring off the bench. From the IMG Academy, and that's Isaac Dahlhart making his way to the locker room. So the red card does stand. Gonzaga with 20 minutes left is going to have to do it down a man. They've made a substitution. Suzuki will go off, and Peterson is on. So Gonzaga with the substitution defensively as well. Restructure the lineup after the gap in the center back position. And coming on at center back is Scott Chavira Robles, a transfer out of UNLV where he made 12 starts last season. Just a sophomore. So it'll be a 4-4-1 for Gonzaga. Not a big shift, but just one less midfielder in that kind of Morgan Olsen spot. Morgan Olsen will go out to the left wing instead of playing that number 10 role.
It's definitely a hill to climb, but with Peterson back out there, hopefully he can do well. I mean, he's definitely going to run around and cause some trouble, and still a big loss losing Isaac like that.
Yeah, it's a loss to lose any player, but to lose, I think, one of the standout performers of the night is tough.
Yeah.
All right, long throw opportunity here. Ojabi, the senior out of San Francisco. And no nonsense from Peterson. Ojabi will float it up to Gonsalves. Klingiger, the number 11, with the last touch. They'll go short. Linares lofted a long ways over there, holding off defenders. Still in there, Preciado with palms to block it as he denies the Rams. So not out of danger yet. And a penalty kick as Santa Paldiedra flops down and steps short as Hammond was all over his back, couldn't stop in time, and is knocked over. And the official likes the limelight. Here we go, penalty kick. After an incredible save from Chema Preciado, Vito.
Yeah, again, we didn't even touch on his shot-stopping ability because we knew it was going to come light tonight, and that was it.
From point-blank range, and you get another look at it. You could just see the Fordham attacker got to the edge of the box, stopped, and Hammond couldn't stop in time and ran over the back, and now we're going to get a challenge here. So we've got a challenge from Gonzaga. I believe if they challenged the last time, this would be their second one. Certainly anytime there's a penalty kick involved, you've got to take a shot at it. And so they'll be looking to see if there was, in fact, contact or what it was. This is a tough one, Vito, because to me, all of the contact was induced by the attacking player. But if you're looking, was there contact? Absolutely, right? And it's kind of a discretionary thing. I don't know how you challenge it now, because once you've said there's a foul, is there enough to change it? I don't know. There's the attempted clearance. Hammond couldn't get a foot on the ball. And the attacker jumped back into him. And what do you see here?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's just part of the game. You know, you make that physical separation between you and the ball, and any contact from there, a player can go down, whether it's by force or by choice. I think that one just had a little mixture of both. So I don't see the challenge going the way Gonzaga wants it to.
What I always ask myself is, would that be a foul in the center of the pitch? Yeah, probably.
Yep, that's a good way to look at it. Anything through the back is going to be a foul.
Hammond had a chance to clear that, didn't take it, and then in the end got stuck in a tough situation. So Bruno Celerino steps up with a chance to give his team a 1-0 lead in the first goal of the 2026 season. Chema Preciado on his line. Bruno Celerino, saved by Preciado, outstretched left hand. And in the matter of 1 minute, two incredible saves, keeps it at a deadlock.
I mean, again, didn't touch on shot stopping because I didn't have to. Chema has just made himself a highlight reel that'll go on for probably the rest of his life in the first game of the season.
Wow. That was not a bad penalty. It was done with pace, and it was headed to the corner. An incredible save by every stretch of the term. This one floated all the way across, and Klinginger can't get there. All right, does that spark Gonzaga to a performance to match their goalkeepers?
I mean, it should. I mean, those are just those moments, especially with young players, that can be such a swing in energy. You know, Fordham's probably looking at Chema going, what do we got to do to beat this guy?
That'll be out for Gonzaga throw. Nobody warming up on the Gonzaga bench, but a noticeable change in energy from the sideline. Little shove in the back. John Haltzing called for the foul on the back of Gonçalves, and will be a free kick over to Fordham. Now a nice ball down the line. Celerino trying to bounce back after the penalty miss. Dancing, and Preciado with safe hands. Cantalapiedra is the one who drew the penalty kick, and he's starting to find more and more joy here on the near wing. In space, happy to scamper around challenges. And here he is again. Takes a look up. Big shove into the back from Gonçalves. Whistle says, or official says, advantage, play on. Damani McKenna. Nice defending and recovery. Amazing how the game shifts. We got a substitution here coming back on. It's going to be Ryan Shemoun. You think about a draw. Gonzaga for a long time in this match would have said a draw is a big negative. Now they might look at it as like a positive. Immediately the expectations change.
Yeah, and I think for Preciado, anything short of a shutout tonight would be a disappointment for obvious reasons, but he has really shown up in some really tough moments.
Shemoun forced to go back. Looks forward once again. Bray tried for the clearance. That was right on the edge of the box. Everybody from Fordham is saying, hey, you ought to challenge that one. They believe that their man got their foot on the ball first, and they restart before they could get the challenge in, which they're irate about, and they have every reason to be. Fourth official didn't do their job there. Yeah, here's Morgan Olsen. And Drew Peterson for the first time in the second half into the box. And it'll be a Gonzaga corner kick.
And what are the rules with the review? Is it?
Well, he's got to do it before the play resumes. They should have whistled so all the officials have communication to their ear. The fourth official should have radioed to the center and said, hey, they want to review, they want to review. They didn't get it done in time. Now Gonzaga down a man, but it won't matter on a set piece. So a great opportunity here.
This is quite the interesting environment that has come into the college game.
Chaos right now. Morgan Olsen right on top of the debutant goalkeeper just coming into the game. And how about those sure hands? Sheon Kashi able to snatch it out of the air. Only at 6'1", but showed every bit of height. Now the long diagonal. Going to test Bray, who in the first official match for Gonzaga tonight has been excellent. Back to Klinginger. And there's another corner kick, sixth of the night for Fordham, who are still arguing with the fourth official and the assistant referee on the near side, and this is almost surely going to end with a yellow card.
If not worse.
Carlo Acquista has got the hat off and is berating the fourth official and the assistant referee on this side. Josh Madison says, let's play. Ball flicked on to the back post. Potter has to get there. Flickinger floats it in over Preciado. It just took a nick. I think it was Mojabi. Preciado didn't touch it, but they call another corner.
I mean, Gonzaga's doing their best with that man down. It's really making it tough to come out and cover spaces. So
well, there's two battles going on. One is on the sideline with the officials and the coaching staffs, and the other is going on the field. Peterson pushes all alone. Oh, and able to get the block. Can he get the knockdown? Contact, where will that result? And it's lumped back the other way to Preciado, right at the edge of his box. For a 0-0 match, Vito, we're getting some action here.
absolutely. I mean, again, this is what Peterson brings to the game. Just high energy, don't quit.
He's in there once again now. Is he onside? Yeah, flag stays down. Single-handedly able to turn the field. Now finds Morgan Olson. Oh, little flick. Off the chest of the defender. No handball. Now Damani McKenna trying to get to the line. Chase Potter! The junior had a minute just to barely get a poke on that. In the end, not as able to get as much as he wanted. And a chance just to take a deep breath for these two. As everybody up off the bench on both teams. This one a little too low, a little too much. Preciado happy to give his team a chance for a deep breath.
And you can see this Fordham team in their attacking transition is loading up high with 4. So they're really trying to stress Gonzaga, you know, losing Isaac. They're trying to chink in the armor.
Preciado looking long. Chase Potter. Little high boot. Potter wins it the second time, but can't find Peterson. And stretching out again, and Robles back to defend. Damani Greenwald really, or Damani McKenna Greenwald, really high up on this near side, almost playing like an extra winger. Just trying to hold those outside backs a little bit more at bay.
Back in, Mo.
Linares. Spaniard plays it out right side to Jason Sue. Now gets it back. Native of Madrid. And not the touch there for Delgado. Gonzaga just trying to spring Drew Peterson on those quick release over the top. That one just behind the run of Cantal Piedra, and every time it goes out, Gonzaga is going to take a minute. We'll get some fresh legs on for GU. Jelle van Dijk, the fifth-year senior out of Eindhoven, Netherlands. We'll go and give Chase Potter, excuse me. Not the former Chelsea manager. I guess currently Sweden coach Graham Potter. Chase Potter, no relation. So Van Dijk some experience and some fresh legs in that holding midfielder role.
I mean, at some point, do you ask the question of saving some legs for Sunday? I think every coach is going to have a different philosophy. Obviously, you want to play for a win, but it's a long season ahead.
Sam Dolan, a quick look up. He's got 2 players up there, but 4 defenders. I think not a bad scenario. Michelis couldn't get enough onto it and gave it right back to GU. Now Yellow Van Dyke, his first touches are 50-50 challenge. If you're just joining us, Gonzaga had a center back sent off. Isaac Dahlhart with 20 minutes left to go. Challenged for a 50-50 ball with the goalkeeper. In the end, the goalkeeper for Fordham injured on the play. Perlman went down hard. Dahlhart almost scored, and he said something on the way back after not liking the call and was sent off. So Gonzaga playing down a man. 1v1. Trying to get past Morgan Olson. Bray comes over to help out. Perry Bray still somehow with some energy left to release as he is scampering down the sideline.
I mean, that was outstanding defending by the 2 of them.
And a heady play. Back from Michelis. And all the players wear like GPS monitors to track the sprints, to track the distance covered. I can't imagine somebody covering more distance in this match today than Perry Blay. There he is again, but not the touch he was looking for. Calapiedra and Robles able to win it off. Now Peterson back. Nicely timed ball. It will bounce once. Drew Peterson all alone. Sends it across the face of goal. Nobody there. Kashi never had to make a touch. Hard to fault Drew Peterson there for having a shot. He knew nobody was coming to help him. Wasn't sure he could hold off 3 defenders by himself, but would have been a near impossible angle.
Does this come to the tree falling in the forest concept? So does a shot in the box with no one there, or a cross in the box with no one there, does that equal a shot?
It's still a cross. I don't know about the shot. This one's going to force Hammond to meet it. He did. And that long shot well over.
I mean, back to what you said about Perry Blay. That kid's been up and down this field. Sometimes I can't even tell what position he plays. I mean, he's a left back, but he's been so back and forth, and it's outstanding to see. I mean, I just hope he has legs at the end of this.
Real bright spot on the night, without question, for Gonzaga, his play. And again, the transfer from Liberty in his first match here at Luger Field. Mizuno comes on. He played center forward in the first half. He's going to come in at the left wing for Fordham. And for the first time tonight, we see Cosmo Tristani out of New Jersey, the junior defender, out kind of on that right wing. Hammond forced to come with the challenge, and it was a big one. He got all ball, but toes were up and stretched out, and the official didn't like it. Yellow card puts Arn Michelis in the book. And you can see there, he got the ball completely first. Vito, I don't know. I think looking at that one again, that's pretty harsh.
It is, but again, referees are human. They can make mistakes. You know, it's just unfortunate in this day and age. There's so many angles of camera. It gets picked apart. I mean, he's still doing a pretty good job. We have to give hats off. It's been a physical game, and you know, Josh has been put to work.
All right, so a rare free kick opportunity for GU in the second half. Morgan Olson. Van Dyke was there. Knocked down by Hammond. Took a deflection. But they're saying it was last touched off Gonzaga.
Let's go, work.
Pretty much all of the dice have been thrown by these two coaches now. It's a matter of, can anybody in these last 5 minutes break the seal? Long diagonal ball offered by Nico Linares. Tishmoon. Clickinger out to the right side. That one blocked away. And the 7th corner of the night. The shout there for Gonzaga. Scott Chavara Robles, who came on for Dahlhart and has been good. Headed away by Hammond. And this should be all Preciado, looking to see if he can distribute quickly. And Gonzaga able to get some numbers forward that time. If nothing else, to pressure the ball quickly, but now they're a bit exposed at the back. Good first touch from Clickinger. Still Flickinger. And Morgan Olsen coming away. He's really got nothing to release. Selects just to lump it down the line and out for a throw. Well, for Fordham, they're 3 minutes away from a hard-fought point on the road. For Gonzaga, they're 3 minutes away from an absolute battle to hold on tight and a bit of a moral victory here if they can get points. But both teams hoping for a bit more.
Yeah, I'd have to say the scorecard in the first half goes to Gonzaga, and in the second half, Fordham. But I mean, Gonzaga has done well to just not let them squeak back in.
This one will be easy for Preciado. When you say it that way, it makes me glad that this doesn't come down to a judge's decision, right? You get to earn it on the field, and if neither team is able to win this one, then both get some spoils.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they deserve it. It's been a fun game to watch. It's been a lot of activity, some chaos, and I'm still getting my mind around the reviews.
Mizuno with quick feet. Sam Dallin, plenty of contact there. Mizuno slides back in. Dallin forced to retreat once again. Now Flickinger. Able to get it across, but well-timed challenge there. Robles had the positioning. 2 challenges for each coach seems like too much. Every match having 4 challenges, because the coaches are going to use them, why not? You're going to end up with 4 referee challenges every single game. That seems like it's not really what you want.
It's already stressful being a referee, but now you're asking them to do it 4 under the scrutiny of video review. We'll just have to wait till the elements come into play for us in Spokane and it starts getting cold. Maybe it'll be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, right. I think they were happy earlier today as we got just a quick pause in the action. Referee blew the whistle, stops the clock for a few seconds. Make sure Gonzaga's not wasting any time. The review booth is under shade, and earlier when it was 95 degrees, I think the referees might have liked to stay there a little longer. Not so much this evening. All right, under 2 minutes left to go. Fordham trying things forward, just too far from Tristani, or for Tristani. And one bench shouts, calm down, hold on a second. The other says, hurry up. Perry Blaze looking to get the ball in, but nobody's available. Play looking for Peterson. Lizares. Still alive with DeSesa. Now near side Mizuno. Getting an angle. Tries to tuck it in. DeSesa had a touch for a second. Now Shea Moon. And Hamid knocks it out. Out for a throw-in. Quick scamper to find an alternative ball as Fordham wants to get it in quickly.
Yeah, these are the final moments. Can you stay composed on both sides of the ball?
Hamid will just lump it up into the lights. Gonzaga trying to push forward and compact that midfield, but then drop off again with their marks. Final 15 seconds.
Peterson has put in an absolute shift.
Michaelis with the long diagonal. Preciado with the punch. And that should do it. Fitting that we end the match with the hands of Chema Preciado grabbing the ball and scooping it up to hold on for a shutout. Gonzaga forced for the last 20 minutes to hold on, down a man, and they're able to do it. No goals here tonight. Plenty of action, lots of drama, and Chris McGahee walks away with a point out of the first match of the season. 2026 underway. Both of these two teams showing some real resolve, Vito, and I think if you take everything away from it, both coaches have to be pretty pleased with the battle. Fordham improved significantly in the second half, and Gonzaga held on tight for what ended up being a hard-fought draw.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Both coaches should be definitely pleased. I think Fordham's a little more frustrated with some of those reviews maybe not going their way. But to switch over to Gonzaga and with Chris, it's very nice to see that Chris has done some work with the group. Defensively, they look very sound, and this will be a fun season to watch them.
Bright spots, that back four, unfortunately, are not going to be all intact against University of Washington on Sunday, but they looked really solid, both able to get forward and organized defensively. It's just a matter of can Gonzaga get some goals this year. That was a challenge last year. If you took the two matches where they scored more than 5 goals, or they scored 5 goals in each, just 10 goals from 14 games, I think that's the progression for this team to put the ball in the net.
Yeah.
For Fordham, a bright spot to their season. They're going to head to Santa Clara for the next match a little further west. For Gonzaga, it's a home match against the reigning national champions here at home. The University of Washington coming to Luger Field on Sunday to have a Huskies versus Bulldogs rivalry here in state. Well, man of the match, Chema Preciado, big time saves. Gonzaga with a big play here that turned into controversy. We saw a little bit of everything. Red cards, balls off the post, amazing saves, a PK denied right after the incredible save there. And in the end, it was Gonzaga 0, Fordham 0. For Vito Higgins, for myself, John Billings, for our fantastic crew here for Pac-12 Soccer on YouTube. Final score, Gonzaga 0, Fordham 0. We'll see you next time.